Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this evening's host, ESPN sportscaster Stuart Scott.
Wow. That was pretty impressive, wasn't it? The music, the voice. You guys hear that voice that introduced me? In media, we call that VOG. Does anyone know what that stands for, VOG? That's right. VOG stands for Voice of God. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Which is ironic, because anytime you're fighting cancer, the voice of God is not really the voice you want to hear. Stuart? Yes? It's time. No, wait a minute. I'm not quite done yet. So, voice of God is one of those voices that I'd like to wait another 20, 30, 40, 80 bajillion years to hear. How about you all? How's everybody doing tonight? I am really, really glad that you all are here and that I'm here. I feel lucky. I feel honored. I feel blessed to be here to share in this night of fun, in this night of laughter, in this night of fundraising. Don't trip. It's not just about the dresses and the nice suits and tuxedos. It's also about opening your wallet. So let's please make sure we do that. We're all blessed to be here. Let's make sure the blessings extend beyond just this room here tonight, okay? I also believe this night is about celebrating friendships, meeting new friends, celebrating old friends. The interesting thing about it is the thing that bonds us together tonight is really one of the ugliest, dirtiest, most vile, most disgusting things around, and that's cancer. But the truth of it is our light, the light that emanates from this room, our love, our courage, trumps any and everything cancer can throw at us. Believe that. We hope you enjoy meeting tonight the Heroes Foundation.
What inspired us to start the foundation was when Vince was sick, he was going through chemo. One of his friends gave him the book from Lance Armstrong, It's Not About the Bike. It was a really emotional, interesting, exciting book that we couldn't put down. So from there, we decided that we wanted to help cancer patients who are going through chemo to get through it and to focus on survivorship.
We started the Heroes Foundation because we wanted to make a difference. We had a competitive spirit, still have a competitive spirit, and wanted to turn that emotion into action.
When you go through the cancer experience, one thing you learn at the very beginning is you can't do this on your own. It is about you at the very beginning because it's you and your oncologist and your treatment for survival, but you can't get through it without family, friends, your community. In fact, I called it my warm blanket. So once you get through the experience, you don't forget that warm blanket, and you have a passion and a drive to give back and to help other people that are trying to beat this terrible disease.
So the work that Vince and Cindy are doing and the Heroes Foundation is supporting is incredibly important, not only to people like me, but especially to patients and their families who are going through an unimaginable experience.
I think I'm always impressed by how patients and their families can pull together and figure out how to move forward a little bit each day. None of them expected to have cancer. None of them asked to have cancer. None of them ever wanted me to be the doctor that they had to come see, and yet they've had a life-changing event hit them, and they've had to pull themselves together and figure out how they want to move forward.
I think it's really important to support the Heroes Foundation because not only the wonderful things they do for all the programs, but the people that those programs affect. We have 40, 50, 60 people on any given First Mondays, and they come back every time because of what they get. Without the Heroes Foundation, that program and all of the programs they support wouldn't exist, and all those people that it impacts wouldn't have what they need. So without that support, there are a lot of people out there who just wouldn't get what they need while they're going through cancer.
It's been amazing to watch Vince and Cindy go from a young couple to a couple with children to a couple with careers and all these demands on their time, and yet they've never, never, never given up on helping cancer patients have a better tomorrow.
The characteristics that I think a hero possesses: humility, a sense of resilience, that quality of continuing to persevere through difficulty, and then a selflessness, a desire to be others-centered, to look out for the best opportunities and endings for others.
And I think that a hero has to be somebody who makes other people feel inspired and helps other people see the world a little bit differently and helps them to realize that they have a potential that they might not have had before.
A hero is somebody who is entirely selfless and inspiring and tries to change the world in ways that we think are unimaginable.
In my mind are courage, bravery, persistence, and really the desire to rise above the challenges that they're facing right now.
A hero to me is someone who has great significance and importance in trying to make someone better, trying to help, and also doing it out the kindness of their heart.
I think a hero is an ordinary, everyday person who goes and does something special and extra for someone else without even thinking about the repercussions or the paybacks. It could be the little boy who had a birthday party and instead of collecting presents, he collected Lego kits to give to Riley. Or my neighbor who is helping me write thank you notes to a lot of our sponsors. It's just everyday people that are thinking about someone else besides themselves.
A hero to me is someone that is selfless and sacrifices for the good of others and thinks about other people before themselves.
I don't think I have one hero. I think my heroes are the patients who are brave enough to ask me what's new and to ask me what is the new treatment that I can offer them that might have risks that we don't know everything about, but that might also help another patient in the future.
I have 3 heroes. In fact, I have 4 heroes. My first hero is Dr. Larry Cripe. I owe my life to him. I don't know how you could discuss the word hero without thinking of Mother Teresa. And I have to tell you, Abraham Lincoln is another hero in my mind. And every cancer survivor on this earth is a hero.
I think about my own heroes, my own personal heroes. I start with my dad and my late mom. Growing up in Cleveland, both were present and wise and loving and empathetic and impacted me in ways that continue to influence me. But my most admired and esteemed hero is my wife, Rosie, of 30 years, because she displays those characteristics of humility and selflessness in her role as a friend, helpmate, and spouse, but also in her role as a mother, as a sister to her siblings, as a daughter to her parents. And for me, my hero is my wife, Rosie.
My heroes are definitely the individuals battling cancer each and every day who inspire me and in the work that we do, but more specifically, my parents, both of whom are cancer survivors and who have taught me so much over so many years. And to them, I am forever grateful, and they will always be my heroes.
My hero is my mom. She faced a lot of health issues, but yet she was there for all 5 kids and my dad.
A hero is someone
who has given his or her life,
who has given his or her life
to something bigger,
to something bigger
than oneself.
Something bigger than oneself.
Growing up when I was a kid, my lifelong hero was then, is now, and will always be my father. I've never met a man who embodied character, dignity, and honor like my dad. And when I was a kid, my childhood athletic heroes, I realized, embodied the same kinds of character that my dad did. Muhammad Ali, Walter Payton, Dr. J. In fact, all of my heroes when I was a kid really embodied the, well, not all of them. Richard Pryor was just funny as hell. And Dick Butkus just used to slobber knock people when he hit them, so I don't really know how much character that involved. I just like the physical violence and brutality of football. So let's amend that. Most of my heroes embodied those qualities of honor, dignity, and character. So last year when Vince Todd called me about this event here tonight, I was immediately interested because of 2 people who were connected to it. Livestrong CEO Doug Ullman, who you saw, and Indianapolis coach Chuck Pagano. Both men, one I knew, Doug, and one I didn't, but both men embodied character and honor and dignity when they were going through what they went through. They showed those traits, those qualities, and that to me is, I mean, that's hero stuff, really. And the more that I talked to Vince, I realized there's another hero here. Vince Todd is a bundle of energy. He's always upbeat. He's always positive about everything. If that's my mom, can you tell her that I'll call her? I'm busy right now. No, she's always like, Stuart, are you okay? Mom, I got something to do tonight. She said, I'll call you at whoever's table you're sitting at. Mom. So I gave her everybody's number. Vince is always upbeat, and he's always positive, and as anyone who has ever gone through cancer knows, look, I've had 55, 58 chemo treatments in my life. One of the most important things about cancer and about having it, I mean, as important or maybe more so than medicine and chemotherapy, is positive energy. It is a life changer. So every time I talked to or texted Vince, there was always like just something upbeat, positive, and in talking about this event, I mean, the way that he made it feel, not seem, but feel, was that this is just a big old party. This isn't a fundraiser. You know, this is a party. This is having fun. It's life-affirming stuff. It's hero stuff. I know all of us have heard the phrase, behind every great man is a great woman. That is a lie. It ain't true. Any man worth his weight knows in front of every great man, leading every great man around like the inner 12-year-old that we are always is a great woman. On that note, please say hello to Vince and Cindy Todd.
Good evening, and welcome to the 14th Annual An Evening with Heroes. We are so thankful that each and every one of you are here with us tonight. This evening is about heroes and how they show up in different ways and in everyday life. You are all heroes by showing up tonight. You are helping in the fight against cancer. What you do tonight will help those tomorrow. Thank you again.
For those of you that know Cindy, don't know how, or I should say do know how impressive that was.
Rarely can she get up in front of a mic and finish her spiel without some sort of emotional interruption. But quite frankly, that's good. That's kind of why we're all here. That's what helps keep this thing going, and why we're here 14 years later. So with that, thank you to all of you for attending. Some of you in this room, this is your first gala. For some of you, this is your 14th. We still wouldn't be here today without that continued support, without the new faces, the old faces. And I hope like hell that we're here 28 years from now. In addition, I'd like to thank some of our special guests, Doug Ullman and Stuart Scott. We appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us tonight, despite the Arctic temperatures and the 3 to 5 inches of snow. It's really not that bad, trust me. In addition, I'd like to thank all of our corporate sponsors. There's a lot of events here in town. As business owners, we get calls all the time, please sponsor this, please sponsor that. And I can't stress enough how important that level of commitment is to events such as this. So if I can take a quick second and just mention everyone real quick. Our title sponsors, Accessa Coding Solutions and Hit Solutions. Some crazy kids over there. Our fellow sponsors, Hollister Corporation, Becker Acroma. You can share, that's okay. Go ahead. The Indiana University Mel and Brent Simon Cancer Center. SBC Wealth Management. Superior Chemical. There you go. Cheer for your own table. You don't have to clap every time, but just amongst yourselves. Table sponsors, Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Indiana. The Brookfield Group. There you go. Hall Render. First Financial Bank. The Catherine Peachy Fund. Beetle Financial Consulting. Good job, boys. Community Health Network. Very good. Flex Pack. I had a sneaky suspicion they would be one of the louder ones, and it's early. HPD. Cat Sapper Miller. Stickle Steam Specialties. Smith Brower Dentistry. Renita Haynes CPA. And this is a fun one to say. The Naked Monkey. Please be a sponsor year after year because I just like saying it. It's just fun. HC1.com. Bose McKinney and Evans. The Creighton Family Fund. Glick and Company. Ice Miller. And Roche Diagnostics Corporation. And now our very valuable in-kind sponsors, and you all know how valuable as this night goes along, some of these folks. Flat 12 Beer Works. Sun King. Upland Brewery. Southern Wine and Spirits. Monarch Beverage. You're noticing a trend here. Just Pop In. Proximo Spirits. Newfangled Confections. Harding Poorman. And none other than the voice of God himself, Mr. Michael Jansen and Praxis Media Group. And the last one, I saved the best for last, at least for you vodka lovers out there. And this is never a hard sponsorship to sell, let me tell you. Our ice sculpture / vodka luge sponsor, Apex Benefits. Again, to all sponsors at all levels, thank you very, very much. We greatly appreciate your support. For those of you who've been here time and again, you've seen kind of the tradition where I ask everyone in the audience here to raise their hand if you've been affected by cancer. We're going to change it up a little bit tonight. I would like all cancer survivors and those currently battling to please stand.
I think that's pretty telling and pretty self-explanatory and doesn't need me to go into detail to tell you how important tonight is. The programs that we've been funding, the programs that are on deck, so to speak, to be funded, to be carried out, to make a difference, are making a big difference in the Central Indiana community. And again, without your support, your continued support and your future support, none of that would be possible. So once again, thank you very much for attending. We hope you have a great time and enjoy your dinner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Stuart Scott.
I think I'm going to change the VOG, voice of God. I think I want to make it VOA, voice of an angel. That sound better? How was dinner? Them short ribs were good, man. I ain't going to lie. Hey, you know, people always think that broadcasters, we broadcasters, cannot root for teams. We have to be totally objective. That is another lie. We can root for teams, and we do root for teams. Maybe not on air, maybe not publicly, but we do root for teams. I mean, I'm a North Carolina grad. I'm a Tar Heel through and through. Did somebody say Duke? Hey, man, I got love for Duke. I always said if you can't go to college, go to Duke. I mean, I really... No, but like, let's say that Duke and Carolina are playing basketball, and Duke beats Carolina. It's not like I'm going to be on air doing the highlight like, Duke beat North Carolina, and Jabari Parker had 23 points, whatever. No, I'm going to give it the energy. I'm doing my job, you know. Jabari Parker, 23 points, 13 rebounds. Duke beats down North Carolina. Inside, I'm going to be crying. But outside, outwardly, I'll be fine. I'll be cool on TV. So we do root for teams, and usually I think our rooting interest is rooted in our childhood and or our college affiliation. But sometimes there's a team that we didn't like growing up or we didn't dislike growing up. You know, there's no emotional tie. So it's easier to do that highlight because we're neutral in our heart, and if the team wins, no biggie. If the team loses, no biggie. And then there was that game in October 2012, a game that Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne didn't care about NFL rules about color coordination, risked NFL fines by wearing orange gloves and an orange mouthpiece to support his coach, Chuck Pagano, who was fighting leukemia. Reggie Wayne had 13 catches that night for over 200 yards, and the Colts upset the Packers. I was like every other broadcaster in the country, cheering, rooting unashamedly for the Colts that night. Indianapolis won that game for their coach, Chuck Pagano. His players love him. And through the players and through listening to what they say and said about that man, we grew to love him too. As I mentioned earlier, Chuck Pagano was one of the reasons why I really wanted to attend this event tonight. But Coach can't be here tonight. Somebody's got to coach the Pro Bowl next week. So, like, fine, dude. You fine, go to Hawaii. Jeez. Like, instead of Indianapolis, Hawaii? Whatever, coach. But good news for us. He is thinking about us.
this is Chuck Pagano, head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I hope you're all having a wonderful time at the evening with the Heroes event. Unfortunately, due to football obligations, I cannot join you this year, but I'm certainly thinking about you all. I am so inspired by the Heroes Foundation and its continued effort to serve the cancer community through the support of funding, education, awareness, and research. A hero is a term that is used loosely nowadays. Who are heroes? It's the people who make the commitment to serve daily throughout their lives. We're talking about those in the military, police officers, firefighters, those involved in cancer research, and doctors who work tirelessly around the clock to care for the sick, the same caregivers who helped me during my battle with leukemia. These heroes are selfless and embody the true meaning of sacrifice. They put everybody ahead of themselves. They are loving, compassionate, and strong-willed. Most of all, they have grit. Their mission is to serve and give back. Let me tell you about one of my heroes. His name is Corey Lane, and I met him when he served as one of our Riley coin toss kids in 2012. Corey fought a form of bone cancer and eventually lost his battle when he was 16 years old. Even with his struggles, he always had a positive attitude and kept a smile on his face. He never had a bad day. He was a kid who inspired others and helped children who faced similar battles. Although he was fighting cancer, Corey was still serving others. I'll never forget the moment when Corey came out of his wheelchair to give me a hug before one of our games. He stood up and told me that he knew I could beat cancer. It was something that I'll never forget. Corey kept that same positive attitude and fighting spirit all the way up to the day he passed. He is one of the first people I think of when I hear the word hero. Once again, I'm sorry I can't be there with you this evening, but I hope you have a fantastic night, and I thank you for your continued support of the Heroes Foundation.
Please keep it going. Big round of applause for Coach Chuck Pagano. Interesting that he said he's sorry he couldn't be here with us tonight. He is here with us tonight. His spirit flows all over this place. Our next special guest, I also mentioned him before. He represents an organization whose mission is very similar to the Heroes Foundation. To a lot of us, it's a household name. Hell, to a lot of us, it's family. I don't take this thing off. Before we meet the CEO of Livestrong, take a look at what his organization is all about.
The heart and soul of Livestrong is the people. I mean, the people that work here, the people that volunteer, the people that donate, the people that are served. I mean, this is all about people.
At the Livestrong Foundation, we have PhDs.
We have social workers here who are literally on the front lines when you're diagnosed.
People who crunch the numbers, people who understand the data.
But more importantly, they're passionate about what they do.
There's no other company, group, organization out there that does the work we do, and that is being an immediate and effective resource for people affected by cancer.
All of the services that we provide at the foundation are free. It is no cost to the survivor or to their family member.
If you're diagnosed with cancer today, you can call Livestrong right now. You'll be able to talk to an actual human being that can get you help.
I was diagnosed 15 years ago with cancer, and at that time there was nothing like this out there.
We really take a very personalized approach in talking with them and understanding exactly the emotions that they're going through, what their experience is like.
We become the place that you can come to as a reference, and either we'll provide you with that directly or we will find the organization or the people who can offer that to you.
Services like banking sperm or freezing eggs.
We will be that person to talk to if you just need emotional support.
I've seen firsthand how powerful our guidebook can be in helping somebody to navigate cancer.
We're not about the disease, we're about the people that are fighting the disease, and those people are really important.
Everything that we produce or develop programmatically is in response to a need that we've heard from a patient or survivor and their family. We just launched this new transportation program here in Austin, which was a direct response to a great need.
We are very conscious of the money that's coming in, and we spend it very wisely.
We are very proud of the fact that 82 cents of every dollar go to programs for cancer survivors, their families, friends, and healthcare providers.
We do that by asking tough questions, looking at the details.
We really are stretching those resources and making the most of every single dollar that comes in the store.
I think in general, we all have an obligation to give back in some way. And then when you get more specific and say, well, you're a cancer survivor or you've been touched by the disease, I think there is an obligation to do something.
I wanted to be a part of Livestrong because I lost my mother to cancer.
Cancer took my grandfather when I was 7.
I'm a 3-time thyroid cancer survivor.
I am a melanoma survivor.
About 4.5 years ago, my mother passed away from ovarian cancer.
I've lost my grandmother to cancer. My father is a survivor of almost 33 years.
I'm a 3-time cancer survivor.
I've been living with prostate cancer for 9 years.
I've lost 4 family members to cancer.
I'm a 20-year cancer survivor.
That personal connection really drives my passion and my purpose for being here at the foundation.
I don't think I ever would have spent 9 years at one place if it wasn't something that I believed in.
I believe we can improve technology to make a bigger difference in the way patients receive care.
I believe that this foundation can change the way the world fights cancer.
I believe our opportunities are greater today than have ever been in the history of this foundation.
I truly believe that there's a need for us and we're making a difference.
I believe that our navigation services help people every day. We all put everything that we have into this place every single day, and it's nice when you leave that you feel like you've actually accomplished something.
Two thoughts I want to tell you about Doug Ullman. One, he is a dear friend of mine. He is a man, a great man, a hero. He is committed to his family. He's committed to his wife, to his kids. He's committed to his organization, and he is committed to cancer survivors and fighters and families of survivors and fighters all over the country, and he's genuinely committed to it. The second thing I would tell you about Doug is if you ever golf with him, he will tell you he's a 16 handicap. He will lie to you. A lie. Single digit. Sandbag. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the CEO of Livestrong, Doug Ullman.
Thank you so much, Stuart. I like to tell people that Stuart just brought out the best in me that day on the golf course, that one time when I was so fortunate to be able to hit a few good shots. But it's really an honor and a privilege to be here with you tonight. And I first want to acknowledge my good friend Stuart. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. said that the ultimate measure of a man is where he stands, is not where he stands in moments of comfort or convenience, but where he stands in times of controversy and times of challenge. Stuart Scott stands tall. Stuart Scott stands with passion, with courage, and with commitment. And I can't tell you what an honor it is to call him a friend. It's also humbling to be here because I feel like the people in this room are family. I told Vince earlier today, I've had the pleasure of going to events like this all over the country for the past 15 years. And yet, rarely, if ever, have I been at an event of this size and this significance where everything about the event feels like you're with family. And it's a testament to the Todd family. And I just want to say thank you for all you're doing to make a difference in the lives of so many. Many of you know that I simply wouldn't be standing here were it not for this incredible city, were it not for the resources of places like the IU Cancer Center. Our organization, quite frankly, might not exist. And so to be here with my dear old friend Mary Maxwell, with Pat Lair, with others from IU, is also incredibly humbling because these are people who are on the front lines each and every day
improving the lives and the outcomes for thousands and thousands of people, not only here in this region, but across the country. And I stand here as someone who heard what my good friend and mentor of many years, Hamilton Jordan, used to tell me are the three most feared words in the English language. You have cancer. I remember that day, 17 years ago, like it was yesterday. I remember sitting in a sterile brick office building in downtown Baltimore with my parents, and I remember the shock and the fear and the denial and the anger and the roller coaster of emotions, and I will never forget that day. And as I reflect on that experience, and I think about the work that we do with the Livestrong Foundation, and I think about the incredible work of the Heroes Foundation, there are so many similarities. Because when I was diagnosed, I seemingly had access to everything. I had an incredible family. I had educated parents. We had insurance. I was a college athlete at a great university. And yet the experience was still so difficult. I wanted to talk to other people. There were physical issues. There were psychosocial issues. There were practical issues. Things that many people who've not experienced cancer closely in their family don't necessarily understand. And I think it's so wonderful to see organizations like the Heroes Foundation that is focused on improving the lives of people and their loved ones throughout that journey. And I'm here to tell you that it's incredibly rare. Not every organization is as passionate. Not every organization has that focus. And maybe most importantly, this organization does more with less than any organization I've ever seen. So I want to say thank you to the people in this room. Because by being here, you have already given your time, your talent, and your treasure. And the reality is that when you go home tonight, you can rest easily, knowing that there will be hundreds and thousands of people whose lives will be dramatically improved as a direct result of your presence here tonight. And very few people in their lives can ever say that they had the chance or the opportunity to be a part of something so special. So for me, it was an easy decision to fly to Indianapolis. Now, Vince didn't tell me about the weather. He called me a wimp when I came out of the airport, when I told him I was waiting in the airport for him to come pick me up. But it was an easy decision because this organization is transforming so many people's lives. And from everybody at the Livestrong Foundation, we are honored to be partners. We look forward to doing even more great things together in the future. And I want to just close by sharing a lesson that my parents taught me. In the video, I talked about my parents as my heroes. I stand here as the son of a prostate cancer survivor. I stand here as the son of a breast cancer survivor. And when I was young, I'll never forget when my parents sat my brother and I down and they taught us the difference between a community and a crowd. My mom said, you know, in a crowd, people push and they shove and they elbow because they want to get ahead of the person next to them. But in a community, people look at one another, they may nod, they may smile, they may hug, they may shake hands. Because in a community, people realize that none of us actually have the chance to move forward if we aren't moving forward together. This room is not only a family, but it is an incredibly powerful community. And outside this room, there is an incredibly powerful community of people who care. They care about supporting and improving the lives of millions of people around the world who unfortunately will hear those 3 words, "You have cancer." So from the bottom of my heart, as a cancer survivor and as someone who feels so fortunate to be able to work in this field, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Heroes Foundation community. You are making an enormous difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug. We're now going to call back to the stage the guy who invited us all here and made all this possible. Vince Todd, get your butt up here.
Wow. Did they win today?
What's that? I'm just up here for eye candy, really.
Eye candy.
Oh, speaking of that, hang on
I
one
see
moment.
what you did there. Eye candy. See what you did. That was good.
Too smart for my own good. There we go.
When are we playing golf again?
No, see, you got to give me like 4 aside. 5. So.
I'm a 17 too, by the way.
Yeah, right. And I'm blonde and blue-eyed. I do have blue eyes.
So how you doing? I thought we'd take a moment here to do a little Q&A session with Stu and Doug. It was going to be a little more inefficient to pass around the mic, and Lord knows after a couple of wines what you guys might ask. So I prepared a few questions on your behalf. I'm going to start with Doug here, also known as Douglas Edward Ullman. Do you have any advice for the supporters of the Heroes Foundation?
Advice for supporters of the Heroes Foundation. You know, again, this organization is doing so much with not the limited resources, but with a finite amount of resources. And I would just encourage people here to not only think about an investment in the Heroes Foundation financially, but think about an investment of time, or think about an investment of intellect. One of the things that we talk about a lot at our organization is so many people have so much value to contribute. And yet, oftentimes, we as a nonprofit or philanthropic community think of value in terms of dollars. And I think that's incredibly short-sighted. So the intellect and the human capital that's in this room that could help this organization solve bigger problems, develop new programs, and serve more people may very well be as beneficial, if not more, than the financial resources. And so continuing to invest whatever value you can bring to the organization is so important.
Good. Stuart Orlando Scott.
SOS.
I'm not touching that one. In your opinion, what does the fight against cancer need the most?
An understanding from everyone how valuable the loved ones who have cancer are. Those of us who fight cancer, most people get it on some intellectual level, even if you don't fully understand it, you get it. Cancer sucks, it's hard, it rocks you physically, it rocks you emotionally, spiritually, mentally, can knock you out, knock you to your knees. But I don't think people understand how difficult it is for those who love us, because they're the ones who will come to the hospital. My girlfriend is here with me. I had another major surgery back in September, like the 3rd time that they literally opened me up. Spent 17, 18 days in the hospital, lost 25 pounds, and for every single night that I was there, she was sleeping on an incredibly uncomfortable pull-out cot next to me. And, you know, TMI, but if you know cancer, TMI is part of our life. I got 5 tubes running everywhere, arms, catheters everywhere. I got to get up to pee every hour, and I need help every hour. She wakes up to help me go to the bathroom. My sister came and stayed in New York while I was in the hospital, and then she came back home with me. One of my best friends from college, while my girlfriend was taking care of me, she would take care of her. My friend who lived in New York would come get my girlfriend every day for an hour. We're going out. We're going to go out. We're going to get our nails done. We're just going to, because you need a break. And people who fight cancer, it sucks, and we're irritable, and we're sad, and we're emotional, and scared, and angry, and pissed off. And guess who has to deal with it? The people who love us. So I think there just needs to be an understanding and a compassion for the people who don't have it, but the ones who just have to deal with us because we have it.
Yeah, very good. One more question for Stuart here. How has ESPN been supportive of you during this journey?
You know, it would be a cliche to say, oh, they've been very supportive. Honest to God, on my daughters, the most important things in the world to me are my two girls. On them, I've never heard of a company that gets it when it comes to something like this. They get it. I mean, all of us who are on air, we have these contracts. You got to fulfill this. You got to do Sports Center 500 days, but there are only 365 days in a year. And not just me, other people who've had problems, who've had issues. I mean, I know they're like, don't worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it. Take the time off. I've had bosses, like people, high up bosses, who tell me, no, you're not going back to work on Friday. You're not. You're going to stay at home, you're going to rest, and don't worry about it. And they always say, don't worry about it. Like, a guy just got, this week, a guy named John Wildhack. He's like the man. He's the man at ESPN. And, you know, he would call me, hey, don't worry about a thing. You don't have, we'll take care of it. Another guy who's like high up boss who he happens to live in my condo complex, he kept calling me, do you want me to stop by the store and get you anything? Dude, you're my boss. But he was like serious. I had two different bosses who like offered to come by and bring me food. That is the makeup of ESPN at its highest levels. And it's not just for you if you're going through anything. If your family is going through anything, don't worry about it. We got you. We'll take care of it. And when you are as competitive as most of us are by nature, whether it's sports or whether it's our job, because we're blessed to love our job. So, you know, each one of us, I'm lucky, dude. I mean, I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm doing Sports Center tomorrow night after the conference championships. I'll be stealing money. That's how much I love doing what I'm doing. So it's hard not to go to work. But when you have people who say, look, the best thing for you, chill. We got you. Don't worry about it. ESPN gets it. And it takes so much of a emotional weight and concern off of you.
I have to second that comment from Stuart because we have one of Stuart's bosses here with us tonight. And a few days ago, not only did I receive a call from Jerry, but even tonight, Jerry came up and said that Sports Center would like to have some of the video from tonight to air either tomorrow night or Monday. And, well, I thought that was my big break to finally make Sports Center. Clearly it's not, but, you know, obviously that shows how their interest in Stuart, their interest in this drive against cancer, and so we appreciate ESPN support as well. It's probably the jacket.
If you make Sports Center with that jacket, you'll never live it down.
And go figure, the Tar Heel just asked, what is that? What's the significance of that jacket? And for all the Boiler fans out there who thought this was for Purdue, which I can assure you it's not, this is right back at you.
I know what that jacket is. Look, I got to say, Sage Steele, a colleague of mine, had a bet last year, IU Carolina basketball game. Her alma mater won. So I had to go out in public in the warm-up pants version of that and tweet a picture. So I do know what that stands for.
You never look so good. All right. And now, last question for Doug. what are new initiatives and ideas that Heroes Foundation should start thinking about?
That's a loaded question. You know, one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and I think a lot of people are passionate about, is the idea that if you think sort of nationally about the cancer burden, in 2014, there will be nearly 1.3 million people diagnosed with cancer. And there will be about 600,000 people who pass away from the disease. And the reality of that 600,000 is that about a third of them, think about that, 200,000 people, might pass away because they don't get access to the care and therapy that every single person in this room would get access to. They're either diagnosed late, they don't have resources or insurance, geographically they live in an area that doesn't allow access. Whatever the reason might be, 200,000 people this year. And one of the things that we have become really passionate about, and I think is a huge opportunity for the Heroes Foundation and others, is the idea of what's called navigation. How do you help somebody and their loved ones navigate the cancer journey? How do you help them from that first diagnosis for the balance of their experience? Find the right treatment, find the right clinical trial, find the financial resources, find the psychosocial and emotional support, find the transportation, whatever the barrier is that might be keeping them from realizing the highest quality patient-centered care. And I think you guys, again, have such a family and such a community here, and with your partners at IU and others, could create such a navigation program that allowed everybody to realize the potential of long-term survivorship as a result of the highest quality cancer care. And that's something that I know many in this room are passionate about, and we are as well.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Big Joe. Sorry, dude.